you are going to embarrass yourself. So just relax and embrace it. I actually don't buy into the if your product doesn't embarrass your team, you've launched too late idea. That was Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn. I'm much more accustomed to the accidental, unintentional embarrassment that inevitably arises even when you've waited to work out the kinks and double check the details. It really matters not, though, in the fullness of time and with the benefit of hindsight, the early version is still going to suck. So just launch it anyway, because life is short and you're perpetually aiming, thinking, planning, aiming, ruminating, planning, strategizing, ruminating, and endlessly aiming yet again. If you're doing that, you're just pretending, play acting, and lying to yourself and to everyone around you. To be an entrepreneur, really at any level, you've got to ship something. You've got to launch something. You have to build something that actually sees the light of day. Something that's subject to scorn, eye-rolling, criticism, or even condemnation. If you're not doing that right now, if you're still talking about the project you conceptualized back in 2016, but that has never seen the light of day, my best advice is just decide to embarrass yourself. Or don't, but simply decide to do something, because right now, in this very moment, you're not getting any younger. So commit to something and then just decide to launch what matters to you, maybe to your community or your family, or not to be so grandiose, but to your future as well. Ultimately, win or lose, when you actually put yourself out there, it transforms your sense of who you are in the world. So don't wait, because if you wait another week or you wait another month, you might as well not wait at all, because we all know how that ends. You're not going to follow through yet again. I say all this not to be mean, but in the service of reminding myself to keep it real. I want to tell you a really quick short story. A few years ago, I published a book called Flow, and it was really personal and sort of, a midnight adventure into my own inner experience. And it kind of captured my moods and meditations as I traveled around a bit as a digital nomad after a series of bad breakups. And these were both personal breakups and professional breakups as well. And I was nervous about publishing it simply because I didn't want to embarrass myself. But I did, and the first 20 or 25 reviews were really, really good. And that's mostly because they were people who knew me already, subscribers and clients and people in my community, or even strangers who were familiar with my work. But one day, I got a really bad, strange, random review. And it surprised me, not because the review was bad, but because how much it stung. And I felt myself retreating into that, am I going to embarrass myself mental space? Is it ready? Do I deserve the credit, the kudos, and the community that I know this book will bring? And I asked myself that over and over again, kind of playing on the edges of both of those ideas. Is it ready? Do I deserve it, or should I just bring it down? A few days later, someone else left a really nasty, negative 1-star review. And it ended, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was pretty close. It said, I felt like I needed a shower after I read this. And suddenly I remember how exposed I felt, how completely naked and revealing I felt like my inner life had sort of become to these strangers in the world who were judging me. And I remember it was a beautiful day and I was in a beautiful place doing work that I loved with people that I loved. And yet after that single review on Amazon, that second one under my name, under my work, under the experiences that I had shared in this kind of naked and authentic and transparent way, I started to panic. And I packed up my stuff and I ran home a half a mile. I removed the book from Amazon where it remains unpublished as I write these words in May of 2020. After all, I had embarrassed myself, and the only remedy, at least in my mind at the time, was to retreat and reconsider, which, of course, as an artist or entrepreneur is really, really the wrong response. But a few days ago, in that strange serendipitous way, the universe conspires to confound us and gently nudge us in the direction of our dreams. I got a message on our Mindful Marketplace Facebook page, and it was from a fairly well-known author and teacher, and he said he had been checking out our page and thought I looked familiar and remembered he had read Flow years ago. He told me how much he liked it and how meaningful he had found its message back then. And we chatted on the phone, and I decided that I'm republishing that book this month, primarily as a way to help us build our author marketing suite of services to help aspiring authors in our own community, but also as a reminder to myself that life is short, and if you want to do great things, perfection is never on offer. And most importantly, hiding is never an option. So for me, as well as for you, just decide, commit, and begin. Win or lose, the winds of courage and commitment will always be at your back.